All right. Well, everybody, I found Amie. We're at Yacht out on the docks at LMC. And Amie and I are going to have a bit of a conversation about what goes on at LMC and what makes it different here. Nice to see you, Amie.
You too, Paul.
Long time. You okay?
Yes, very well.
Good, good. It looks like things are kind of busy around here.
We are very busy. It's season. We're taking care of everyone and making sure they get their work done and ready to roll. Head to the Bahamas, head to New England, maybe the Med.
It's almost time to go. Very cool. Well, you know, as we've talked about a little bit in the past, and I want to revisit, LMC has a bit of a different model. I know that Heather and Dave have talked briefly about the business model here at LMC as it differs. Give me a little oversight or dig in a little bit deeper as to what makes LMC different than your standard drop it off at the yard, drop the keys off and call me when it's done.
So there are a few different types of models. The model we have here is called our marketplace model.
Right.
We use the analogy of we supply the dance floor, you bring the dancers. You make the decisions. You are in control. You choose your contractors. You run your schedule. You manage your project. We are here to elevate the experience and make sure that all the chaos is kept behind the scenes.
Okay.
And make sure it is efficient and meeting your needs.
Okay, well, I would imagine that that speaks right away to some cost savings because you're not paying somebody else to manage your project, right?
Correct.
So there's something I'd like to drill down on a little bit, and that is most people are accustomed to having a project manager, and that's whether it's a 40-footer or a 400-footer. They're used to being able to just have one go-to guy. How is it that you guys differ from that?
We let those decisions be made by the crew. The crew, the captain, and the owner. We do have project management available on site.
Okay.
If they so choose to do that, if it's a larger project. But normally, their top priorities are schedule, cost, and just the timing of everything, because they have to meet their owner's schedule or their charter schedule, so they control that.
So if you want a project manager, that service is available, but it's a subcontractor just like an air conditioning guy would be, or like a alignment or a propeller guy.
That's correct.
Okay, so you could coordinate through there. And what you guys do primarily is, as you said, provide the dance floor. So you got an appointed time that you show up at the dance floor. You know what it is, you know what music you want and what dance you're gonna try,
yeah.
And then a time that you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
That's
kind of
right.
thing. Okay.
Yeah, party's over.
All right. So as long as you don't ask me to sing, I think that would probably work out pretty well.
Exactly.
All
It's
right.
been very successful, and every captain has their own choice of how they'd like to handle it. And people have really made that a priority, so they choose to come here and they choose our model.
Well,
we do have approximately 29 contractors on site that kind of fulfill the core trades of underwater, running gear, zincs to
paint, electronics, to
paint, yeah, exactly.
HVAC, everything.
And we also have an authorized contractor program that allows another 300 contractors to come in. So it is the choice of the captain and the owner to decide who they want to work with.
I got to tell you something, you know, that's someplace where LMC and IYBA align so beautifully, because our mission statement is to promote professionalism and cooperation in the yacht sales industry, and we do it through education, networking, and the removal of barriers to commerce. LMC is the first yard that I know of that has put a program into place that requires that people meet a professional standard, that they have all the proper licensing and insurances. And if I'm not mistaken, that model has promulgated into a lot of other places in the area and throughout the industry in maintaining
we
a high
hope
level.
So. We always talk about ensuring that we keep the industry in South Florida and the Venice of the United States, if you want to call it that, but we want to promote the younger generations to stay in this, this industry and work on the boats and, work for a running gear, hydraulics, any type of company that we have available. So
MIASF is doing a really good job with their Salty Jobs initiative and bringing the message into the schools. One of the things that we helped the state of Florida's legislature understand when we got the sales tax cap passed back in 2010 was that all of this work isn't giving rich guys a tax break. And it's not, the evil big white boats. It's about jobs, and it's about jobs that pay 28% higher than the same trades in a different industry, in the residential or commercial construction industry. So these are good things. These are good messages to get out into the community, is that it uplifts a community to have a facility like this where you've got tradesmen that have a place to ply their trades, and they can provide services. Everybody knows, we've talked about it 100 times if we've talked about it once, that when a boat is in the community, 10% of the value of that boat is injected into that community on an annual basis, and 13% of it in the first year that the guy owns it. So this is a great place for that 13% to land. But it doesn't land in your pocket or mine. It lands in everybody in the community's pocket, from the people that do the HVAC work to the people that sell shoes and work in restaurants and drive Ubers. So it makes a big difference. So one of the other things that you guys provide here that has become a little more popular over the last couple of years is an FTZ. Let's talk briefly about an FTZ, what it is, and actually we could probably walk out and look at what an FTZ looks like.
Yes.
Can you show me an FTZ that we'll understand?
I can.
That's awesome.
So the FTZ is the Foreign Trade Zone.
Right.
We work closely with Customs and Border Protection.
Okay.
They are the regulators of it. So we are under the umbrella of MIASF.
Right.
And what it is a designated berth at Lauderdale Marine Center, or there are many FTZs out in the industry.
Right, yeah, the EMR has them, Pier 66 has them, and some of the other shipyards have them as well.
And it allows a vessel, a foreign flag vessel, to come into our designation and either sit for sale to U.S. buyers as well as anyone else. You can do duty drawbacks. You can also haul out or do work on the vessel and have a tax break. So tariffs would be tax-free, and that is called production authority.
Okay.
And Lauderdale Marine Center is the only one right now.
That has production authority.
Correct.
Okay.
One also great thing that benefits someone coming into the foreign trade zone is the mere size of our facility. If you have a sale transaction, survey haul 99% of the time can be scheduled, and we can get you in and out of the water in a timely fashion.
Well, and that was one of the original motivations for the FTZ, was the fact that foreign flag vessels, when coming to the United States, are required to apply for a cruising permit, and the cruising permit, when granted, stipulates specifically that this vessel is not available for sale or charter to U.S. residents while in U.S. waters. The FTZ provides the brokerage community an opportunity to offer that boat for sale to U.S. residents while it's not in U.S. waters.
Correct.
Even though 13 seconds before the water may have been in U.S. waters, it's now international water, and then as the tide moves, it's U.S. water again.
Correct.
So the water itself isn't what's considered, it's the location. But it allows that business to be transacted, and it removes that discrimination against U.S. residents for boats that are here, and it can be sold to them.
And it makes it very efficient for the brokerage community.
It does. It does. Another thing that it does is it makes it efficient for the new boat manufacturer as well.
Exactly.
For example, if a new boat manufacturer has their North American distribution here in the United States, but a boat may come from a foreign builder, it can come here and be rigged and not have the duty paid on it before it's sent out to Mexico or Venezuela. Well, nobody sends anything to Venezuela anymore, unfortunately, but it could go to another foreign country without it having to be duty paid and then apply for the duty drawback later on.
Correct. We work with our on-site builders and do that right now. So right now we have Choi Lee on-site, and we bring all of their boats in through the foreign trade zone, and they sit for sale.
Right.
And then they can go to a boat show.
Right.
And because we do require a subrogation bond, they do not need to purchase a boat show bond as well.
All right.
So we're working with the other builders to do the same.
They can also bring the, if I'm not mistaken, they can bring the boat in here to the FTZ from the manufacturing facility, not pay duty on it, transact the business of that boat and put it in a foreign flag and not have to have dealt with the U.S. duty considerations.
Correct.
And if the owner wants to flag it U.S. or import it at a later date, he's welcome to do that, but it's not complicating the process, it's simplifying the process.
Correct. And that's what we try to do, is simplify everything for the builder, the user, the broker.
Right.
And it just defers the duty down until someone wants to pay the duties.
Right.
Yep.
So you have Troy Lee, you have Ferretti, you have...
We have Bonetti, we have
Bonetti?
Princess through
Okay.
Aquamare
Okay.
Onsite. And we are the yard of choice for San Lorenzo, Majesty. And we also work with the management companies that,
Sure.
you know, work with us to do the same things.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Let me show you just how we designate it.
Absolutely.
It's a simple
Let's take
process.
a walk out. We'll leave our coffee here. I hope nobody steals it.
Maybe they'll put some.
Don't mess my coffee.
Maybe they'll put some sambuca in it.
Yours. It would be okay.
Yeah. I don't think Doug would like
So
that.
Sinbad is a boat that we did another segment on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So let me show you.
So this is designated as an FTZ.
Correct.
Okay. So the audience can see that here you've got a special designation. So this slip is in an is this boat in the FTZ?
No, it is not.
So the slip can be utilized as a free trade zone, but it doesn't have to be empty if there's no non-duty paid vessel there.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
We
done
can,
via
though,
paperwork.
Everything is, yes, done by paperwork. So we have to
Okay.
do a domestic entry
Right.
for a vessel that is not being entered into the foreign trade zone.
Okay.
Otherwise, we just do a formal entry of a vessel, foreign flag vessel coming in.
Okay, so I know a question that rings around the brokerage community a fair bit is if the boat is in the FTZ, and let's say it's a boat that is owned, not one that's an inventory boat, and the owner wants to take the boat out and use it, can he take it out and then bring it back into the FTZ? Is he subject to duties? Is there a form he can fill out to take the boat out?
So if a vessel has been entered, the vessel can depart the designation,
Okay.
but not for pleasure use.
Okay,
It can depart for a survey haul,
Okay.
work to be done,
Okay.
to be showcased at a brokerage open house,
okay.
a boat show.
Right?
and otherwise it cannot be used for pleasure.
Okay.
If an owner would like to use it for pleasure,
Right,
it has to be withdrawn,
okay,
and the options are touch a foreign port
right.
as a withdraw or pay the duties.
Okay, all right. So he could take it out of here. He could go to Bimini or the Abacos
Correct.
or Bermuda or to the Med and come back.
And that would finalize the FTZ program.
Okay, and then he would initiate a new program if he wanted to
Correct.
bring the boat back in. And is there a limit as to whether he's allowed to bring back in or not?
No limits.
okay.
They can stay in the foreign trade zone as long as they'd like.
Okay,
We, as an operator, require a subrogation bond that lasts a year,
Okay.
and that covers 150% of their duty of the duty risk.
Okay.
So, the 1.5% of the value of the
so
vessel.
calculate the value of the vessel, multiply
Correct.
1.5, and then 1.5 times that. Because the
Correct.
duty would be 1.5. So 1.5 times the liability of duty would be what the amount of the bond is for, not that you have to pay that amount, whatever the insurance company designates as the
correct.
value of that
Yeah.
bond. Just like a yacht broker's bond
Mm-hmm.
is for $10,000, or a yacht salesman's bond is $10,000, but he doesn't have to put up $10,000. He pays $101 or whatever it
Okay.
is that he pays.
So they do have to pay for the bond,
Right.
and it is good for 1 year. And if they stay longer, we have a couple vessels that have been here for more than a year, and then we just execute another bond.
Right. So you just renew.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Amy, that's really interesting. It's really important information. It gives us a good sense of what's different about LMC from some of the other facilities, the model that you guys have. We're going to cut back over to Heather and Dave because
Right.
they're rolling around the yard, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to see what they're up to. I think Dave's showing her the different lifts, and I think she's
Yes.
pretty surprised at the size of them. So we'll go back out to Heather, and we'll see you on the next segment.
Yacht Engineering Week 2021 has been made possible by Pantropic Power, the only authorized Caterpillar Power Systems dealer in South Florida. Florida Nautical Surveyors, your complete solution to all of your vessel surveying needs. And Robert Allen Law, exclusively dealing with the business of yachting. We would also like to thank Quantum Stabilizers, AME Solutions, DeAngelo Exhaust, MPI Marine Professionals Incorporated, Concord Marine Electronics, Lauderdale Marine Center, Marine Data, Isotropic, Dockmate, and Murray Ventilation Products. Thank you for joining us this year. We'll see you in 2022.